So this is definitely a different type of video here on Joe Does Stuff. Usually I'm out in the field working and trying to work and whatnot. But if you've been following me, well, you know that my business is down in the dumps as of late. And I've been questioning, well, pretty much everything that I've been doing business-wise. And you guys have been certainly letting me know in the comments section, and rightfully so, that I don't have a damn clue what I'm doing in regards to bidding work. And it's been a shit show, to be honest. I'll be the first to admit you're right. I don't know much about bidding jobs, and what I do know is, well, I'm bidding them too damn cheap, to start. I question some of the jobs that we've done, and I need to say this too, not every job that we've done have I bid too low. In fact, the last full house that we did, an awesome supporter of Joe Does Stuff, a guy by the name of Rob, we bid that job accordingly. I was able to make a respectable profit from that job, but those type of jobs have been far and few between for me. Running a business is not easy, especially when you don't have a very good business sense. I truly feel like some people have it and some people don't. Me personally, clearly, I don't. What I do like to believe is that I'm good at the work. I try my damnedest to provide quality work in every aspect and job that we do. But, again, the business sense, I don't have a very good sense of that. This is not a boo for me. I'm just really trying to give you guys a little insight into my mind as I'm getting ready to share with you, well, a little bit of a story time, but this is an ongoing story right this second, and we'll see how it all plays out. And in fact, I'm going to take your advice to help with how this story plays out. But one other thing I want to mention before we get into that is I've been an apartment painter. That's been my latest business venture, starting an apartment painting business. And though I might not have a very good sense business-wise, I can certainly share with you a lot in relation to apartment painting, something that I am very proficient in, very well versed, and something that I would like to advocate for here on Joe Does Stuff moving forward. You've been seeing shorts that I've been doing as of late, and I've been doing all sorts of construction shorts. I feel like I know a few things, and even if I don't know everything, one thing that I do know is I do know content. I know how to make content. So I share that with you because I do enjoy making the shorts. But of course, I miss the long form. I'm long-winded after all, and well, long form is what I'm best at. But neither here nor there. Advocating for apartment painting, I'm going to talk more about that in upcoming videos, and more so advocating to not even get involved with it. That's the real meat and potatoes of that situation. But let's go ahead and move on to a little story time. And again, hey, this is an ongoing story right here, folks. So like I had mentioned, business down in the dumps, woe is me, boo-hoo, all that good jazz. Well, we do have a potential job right now. Potential as in, will we even get the job? How are we going to bid this job? I'm sharing all of this with you because I want you to help me bid this job. And we'll see how it plays out. God, I would love to get this job. But I'm going to be honest with you, this thing would be a ton of work. So let's get into it. Okay. Hey, so recently I got the opportunity to check out a residential job. And this is what every painter, painting business, residential painter, this is what you want right here. This is the absolute creme de la creme. If you can bag this for the right price, gosh almighty, boy, you could be doing a couple of these jimmies a month. A business would be grand. So before we take a look at this, let me share with you how this job came to me. It came to me via Thumbtack. I know, right? Trigger warning. Probably should have mentioned that before mentioning Thumbtack. Hey, do you use Thumbtack? You know, what's been your experience with Thumbtack? Is Thumbtack a lot like Angie's Leads and things like that where they charge you an ass load of money to generate leads? Well, I've never used Angie's List, but I've heard horror stories about them, and I have a little bit of experience with Thumbtack. So let's go ahead and talk about this particular job coming to us via Thumbtack. This particular lead right here cost me over $200. I don't even have the job. It wasn't even a guarantee that these people would even come let me look at the job. And you know what the crazy thing about Thumbtack is? There's a million crazy things about Thumbtack, but let's just start with this. This potential customer reaches out to me via Thumbtack. And before I can do anything else, I am immediately charged $200. As I'm charged $200 for this lead, that again is no guarantee that we even get this job, I'm able to see that this potential customer has also reached out to multiple other painting companies in the area. In fact, 2 others. So they reach out to a total of 3 of us. I'm able to see that. Now, to go a little bit further with Thumbtack, you're not able to dispute a lead that comes your way. And Thumbtack is going to throw you some bogus leads, some leads that you don't even want, and you're going to be charged for it off rip. You got to have money in the kitty to even, get in the Thumbtack game. To share a little more about that, I've been charged like $50 for a lead where a person was reaching out to me and 5 other painters trying to get 1-bedroom wall painted, and they're going to provide the paint. 1-bedroom wall? What you gonna be able to charge for that? Thumbtack has already charged me $50. They're gonna want somebody to come in there and paint that joint for $100 or less. Talking about they providing the paint. I didn't even respond to that ad. I mean, there really was no point to. They had reached out to 5 other painters. And you try to dispute the ad. I believe that you are able to try to dispute the lead, I should say. And they never, slim to none, will they credit your account back if the lead is misleading or something like that. But needless to say, I was charged $50 for a lead that was basically bogus. To even begin using Thumbtack, you have to have a minimum per week that you are going to be spending for lead generation. And I believe that minimum is like $250. If you try to put anything less than that in Thumbtack, they tell you that your chances of generating leads isn't that good. It's basically extortion, is what it feels like. So anyways, you're spending $1,000 a month for no guarantee of work. And let's talk about what I've had so far. $50 for 1-bedroom wall. Person reached out to 5 other painters. And then $200 for this particular lead and potential customer that, gosh almighty, I hope we bag. So let's talk about what we got here. This person would reach out to me, and again, they reached out to 2 other painting companies as well, but they have a pretty big house. What am I talking about? This house is huge. Before I'm able to even see the house and, trying to get the conversation going with this potential customer, because I've already been charged $200 by Thumbtack, I can see that they say 8+ rooms, full interior paint for the house. So we begin having a conversation, and I'm just trying to get to the point where I can get the address from these people so that I can look this house up. I would finally get to that point. I looked the house up. The damn thing is a little mini mansion. I'm going to be sharing that in just a moment. We line up a time for me to be able to go see this thing. It's in a gated community. I'm going to need a access code to get through the gate. If you could land any job in this neighborhood and put bandit signs out in the yard, I mean, this is where you want to be at. This is a rich folks type of community. If you could be getting represented on their Nextdoor app, I feel like you might be able to do pretty well here. But nonetheless, I'm able to go look at this house, and meeting with this potential customer, they were nice enough people. They've just recently purchased this house and they're trying to get the entire interior repainted, but not just repainted. They want to get the entire interior color changed, which is going to be a pretty big process. There's going to be a lot of stuff that needs to be protected in this house, and it's not just painting. Let's go ahead and look at this thing, shall we? All right, so take a look at this right here. This thing is 3,650 square feet, massive. 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, massive, beautiful home. $725,000 home, which is actually not that bad of a price, considering the price of houses these days. $725,000 was the price tag on this home, and again, gated community. So you got to know that the expectation is going to be of the utmost. We might as well be using Fine Paints of Europe or some shit like that. Boy, that was a bar right there. If you've got experience with Fine Paints of Europe, leave a comment down below. Let me know how that was, because I've heard that's level 12 expertise needed using that product. All brick exterior structure, but on the inside, nothing short of a shitload of challenges. We've got vaulted 16-foot or taller ceilings with an A-frame situation going on in the living room, the great room, I should say. We've got a staircase that goes up to a landing with so much handrail area. I mean, there's just tons of handrails in this area. I mean, just walking through the front door of this house, you're in the foyer looking up at 20-foot walls with windows and French doors, and every glass surface in this residence has grids in it. All that shit is going to need to be painted. You're going to need so much liquid masking in here. It's going to be ridiculous. Now, again, like I said, this is a full interior paint that this customer is wanting. The walls are yellow, the trim and doors are beige, and they want all of that shit to be white and the walls to be possibly gray. They're not even set in stone on what the color is going to be. They just know they don't want the yellow walls. The trim and the doors, beige. Keep that in mind. The carpet and floors, all stained. Everything in here is going to need to be dextered off, as we like to say it. Oh, and by the way, before we even go any further, there's a time frame that this job needs to be done in. 10 days. 10 days or less is what they're saying, which I feel like we could certainly get it done in 10 days. But then again, I don't even have a damn crew. It's me and one guy, potentially another guy. I would certainly have to bring in some additional help on this project, which gets me breaking out into a cold sweat even thinking about that, because me and new guys, shit. And on a job like this, you want to get it. You can do it. You can do it, but you're going to need help. And that's a scary thing, especially when you don't have the help, and it's going to be roulette every time that you bring in a new guy telling you they've got 10, 15 years of experience, and they don't even know how to hold a 3-inch cut brush. I've seen it 100 times already. No bullshit. I had a painter, not even a painter, a guy that I was trying to put to work, tell me that he had 5 years of painting experience. Came in, we were doing apartment painting, came in, and as soon as I left, he literally asked one of my more seasoned painters at the time, hey man, what does it mean to cut in? That's what's out there, folks. And the crazy thing about it is you got to respect it, because, hey, at least they're trying to work when so many people ain't even trying to work. Nobody wants to work. Everybody says that they can do this shit. So let's throw in that into this equation as well. I'm sure at this point, some people are probably going to be commenting down below, Joe, you need to just go ahead and pass on this, because if you do get this and the price is right, my goodness, it's going to make for content. Can you imagine this? So the customer would tell me there's a 10-day time limit on this. Hey, I need this job done in 10 days. I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. we can get that done. And I know that me and my top guy could, even if it was just him and I. If I could get 2 more people up in there with us, even at laborers, just helping to tape off, mask off, paper off, plastic off, doing those type of things, we could get it done. You can see the staircase area. They want those handrails painted as well. Another thing to mention, not all of the walls in this residence are this off-white-ish. It's almost like a yellow. It's really light yellow. But then you've got this little sitting room in the front of the house where you've got these green walls. And then let's go ahead and mention the fact that this entire home is covered in crown molding, chair rail, wainscoting in a lot of this place. So the trim is going to be unbelievably extensive. Let's go ahead and move on to the kitchen real quick because I just got to hit you with the cold, hard facts here as quickly as possible. So in the kitchen and dining area, it may look like there's like some wallpaper right there. And that's what I thought that this was at first. But no, folks, that is faux texture that they want removed. They want smooth finish in there as well. 10 days. Keep this in mind, 10 days. We're going to spend an entire day or 2 just prepping. Okay, not to mention getting into this faux texture sanding removal. It's going to be a real fun part of this as well. So they want all the faux texture removed. And if you don't know what faux texture is, it's basically like paint and maybe plaster or some kind of compound that they just, sponge onto the wall that creates a texture. They want that gone. They don't like that at all. Not sure if we've got, and mind you, I'm looking at the pictures from the listing, okay? Because these are the best pictures that I have right here. I didn't take any video when I went and looked at this because obviously I was walking around with the homeowner and I was pretty nervous. We're in a gated community and all of that. And once they gave me the address from the conversation on Thumbtack, I was able to look it up and find over 50 pictures of this place. So here is another room that is off of the dining room. This is like another living room right here with tall A-frame vaulted ceilings in there. Looking at the bedrooms, what are these boxes in the ceilings called? I don't know. But that's going to be problematic and time consuming as well because there's crown all up in there. I can't remember what they call those boxes, but that's going to be a real pain in the ass to paint. And here's a good example of that yellow on the walls and that beige on the trim and doors. This actually reminds me of an apartment complex where we were doing full color changes at, and them joints were only, I think at the most, 13 or 1400 square feet. This is 2.5 times as big as that. And those were taking us roughly, 2 days to get those completed. This, like I said, 2 days easy just in prep work. Repair work, which is some holes in the walls, some stress cracks. You're not able to see that from these pictures. There's some curtain rods that they want taken down and holes patched up. There is all of that faux texture in the kitchen and dining area. I don't know if I have a picture of the laundry room, but in the laundry room, there is, in fact, a little bit of wallpaper that has to come down. Let's go ahead and look upstairs real quick. Take a look at this upstairs landing, all of these banisters right here. There's freaking crown molding upstairs. I mean, let that go to show you the level of craftsmanship that was put into this home when it was built. I don't often see crown molding upstairs. It's usually a downstairs feature. When you've got it all throughout the house, oh my God, that is extensive right there. Bedrooms galore. Like I said, this is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, bathrooms galore in here. 10 days to get all of this done. Carpet and flooring is staying and has to absolutely be protected. Have you ever painted baseboard, color changing baseboard at that, where you've got nice plush carpet? Time consuming. How many outlet plate covers do you think there are in this house? Look at this. We've got build outs in some of these rooms. We've got a full theater room that they want a totally different color, some darker color. They want the trim to be a darker color in there as well. 10 days. So here's the deal. I go over there. Like I said, I already had this pulled up. I already had a number in mind. And I'm going to share that number with you guys. And you're probably going to think that I'm out of my mind. While meeting with these folks for the third time, they're nice enough people. But, I'm asking them, what kind of paint do you want to use on this? And folks, major red flag on the play right here. Because when I asked that, the wife would respond to me and say, the cheapest. Just got to let that marinate. Anytime, I don't give a damn, and you know it. Anytime a potential customer tells you the cheapest about anything, you already know they trying to get this job done for the cheapest. Mind you, I was the first person to go look at this. Right now, I guarantee you they meeting with another painting contractor, telling them the same thing, the cheapest. What kind of paint you want to use? Are you trying to use, some duration? What you want to use? Some super paint? You want to use some Benjamin Moore? Let's just take it to the top. Now they're trying to use the cheapest. I mean, when you tell me the cheapest, I'm thinking to myself, what are you saying? Property Solutions? You think we about to go paint your $750,000 home with some Property Solutions? So that freaks me out big time. $200 I've already invested into this job that I don't even got. I'm thinking to myself, you know me, and you got to be the same way too. If you're a business owner, you know this, man. You know that when you got the potential prospect of a big job, man, your wheels already start turning. Yo, I'm gonna knock this joint out the park. If I can land this job, you're already thinking about what you're spending that profit on. Now, I'm not doing that. But I'm thinking about, if we land this job, man, hey, this could catapult us to the next, hey, Kobe, this could catapult us to the next level in the painting game. I'm going to give them a gift basket. We're going to do this joint like the HGTV makeover shows when they move the two buses out of the way. Here's your home makeover with a nice little fruit gift bag. Boy, I'm going to go to edible arrangements on their ass. Gosh almighty, man. If we can get it, but they want the cheapest paint is what they're asking for. So anyways, let me share with you some numbers that I've put together in my mind. Now, I didn't tell them these things, okay? I didn't want to. I was ready to tell them these things, but when they told me they wanted the cheapest paint, I needed to back off. And I thought to myself as well, hey, I can kill two birds with one stone here because I can make a video about this whole thing, share it with you. You can give me feedback on these numbers that I'm sharing with you. See, we can kind of spitball this together. You can let me know that I'm out of my ever-loving mind with these numbers. What if you think that it's too high, what I'm getting ready to share with you? Wouldn't that be a little change of pace around here? But you already know. You already know Joe about to give you some Class A work at crackhead prices. Folks, we do have new Joe Does Stuff merch here if you're interested. Hey, check it out, man. Do us a solid. Cop you a shirt. Wear it when you go to meet with a potential customer. Hey, that's a mildly offensive piece of clothing you're wearing right there. Yeah, well, it's kind of crazy the world that we're living in these days. Everybody wants the most for the least. All right, here we go. Here's the rough breakdown right here. Let me go ahead and put these numbers a little closer so I can read them a little better. All right, paint labor, $6,000. Now, but that's just for the walls, okay? That's just for the walls. Paint labor for the color change on the trim, the molding, and the doors, I put at $3,000. So, I'm right there with my $1,000 a day way of thinking here. Laundry and kitchen prep and paint. Okay, I broke this thing down big time. So again, we got to sand down that faux texture, got wallpaper to remove in the laundry. The laundry is ironically not that big at all. And then to paint that, I put that at another $3,000. So just in paint labor cost for this house, 3,600 square feet, I've put this thing at $12,000. And then paint cost, I've put at $3,200. And I want to share this with you guys as well too. Full color change on your trim and doors. This is not a repaint. You're painting this shit twice. And keep that in mind too. 2 coats on everything. And then additional material costs, masking and prep supplies, $1,000. Now, here's the crazy thing about this. When they told me that they wanted the cheapest paint, I said, well, what all are you not trying to get painted in here? What about these ceilings? I said, because if you're trying to keep this thing, on the lower side of the cost, we're not going to paint the ceilings. And the ceilings in there didn't need to be painted. But my God, if you're spending, $15,000 or better to get an interior painting job done, you probably ought to be painting the ceilings, right? I mean, that just don't even make any sense. But hey, we're not painting the ceilings, and we let them know that too. So the grand total that I've come up with on this job is $16,200. Class A work at crackhead prices. What do you think? Is that price too high or is it too low? They want to use the cheapest paint. You already know they're going to want to go with the cheapest. But Joe, that doesn't necessarily mean that. It absolutely does. I've been doing this long enough. I'm a professional in that regard. And then again, $16,200. That's the price that I've quoted this job at. Should that include ceilings? Joe, you might as well just go ahead and paint the ceilings. Maybe it even makes the job a little bit easier. We cross that bridge when we get there. That's the number that I'm ready to submit. I've actually got this all ready to go. I'm ready to hit send on this. I've written an inauguration speech about how we are well-versed in color changes, dealing with some higher end apartments that have higher end expectations. So we could certainly get the job done. If you decided to go with us, we would be honored to do it, yada, yada. Y'all let me know. Like I said, this is a little bit of a first here on Joe Does Stuff, me sharing a story time type of a video with you guys. I hope that this was something you enjoyed, because trust me, when we ain't got nothing to do, man, I got a million stories that I could share with you. Hey, did I ever tell you about the time that I walked into an apartment that we were painting and laying on the floor asleep was one of my painters? Did I ever tell you that story and how crazy that shit was? Joe, he was just tired. No, he wasn't. It was crazy. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like and a comment. Please leave a comment at the very least, letting me know what you think about this potential job, this price. Should I send this? And, what you would charge, most importantly. That's it. I look forward to sharing more with you guys real soon. And until then, take care.